From the day that we are born to the day that we leave this earth, each moment of that day, we experience things, we learn things, we try new things. We are growing. Hi, I'm Trish Springsteen and I'm an introvert. Now, I don't really like labels very much, and introvert, extrovert, they are labels. They're only labels if we let them define who we are. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of a journey of an introvert speaker, from where I was to where I am today, and the lessons that I've learnt on that journey. Way back in the Jurassic period, it's a long time ago when I left school. If you spoke to anybody who knew me in those days and told them that here I am sharing my story with you, with hundreds of people, with viewers out there, walking onto stage and speaking with clients, networking, standing up, sharing my message, they would roll around on the floor laughing. Because in that Jurassic period, not only was I an introvert, which I still am, but I was extremely shy. And the whole concept of my even getting up and speaking in front of people was just not on my horizon. I went through my early life avoiding speaking, avoiding standing out, just getting along, zooming along, working my way through, being good at my jobs, but I didn't really want to stand out. What changed my journey? Well, I got a mentor. I had a mentor that pushed me out there and got me up there and speaking and understanding that I had a message, that I could be who I was, and that being an introvert was a label. That did not mean I could not have my own business. That did not mean I could not share my passion with clients. That did not mean that I could not get up and speak and share with people around the world, with my audiences. So what was it that was my first lesson on that journey that's brought me to here, to now? Well, the first thing was to understand those negative voices that speak in our head. You know, those little voices that say, stop, you can't do that. Who are you to think you can get up and speak? Who are you to think you have a message? Who are you to think you've got a story? Oh, yes, people. I listened to those voices for many, many years, and they were the things that stopped me from stepping up and being all I could. What I had from that mentor was someone who believed in me until I believe in myself. And that is one of my mantras today. So that was the first lesson I learned. When I actually believed in me, owned who I was, accepted who I was, and was prepared to step up and say, hey, this is Trish. This is who I am, and this is where I am in my life. That was extremely powerful. So there's my first lesson to you. Believe in who you are. Put a stop sign to those negative voices. Out of that came an understanding of something that I had never realized I was not doing, and that is understand your potential. Everybody has the potential. We all are born with the seeds to grow. Now, sometimes those seeds are watered very early in life, and we bloom and we grow and we reach out. Sometimes, unfortunately and sadly, those seeds are squashed and we don't grow. And sometimes it takes a long time for people to realize about those seeds and let them grow. So understand that everybody has potential. You have potential. You have potential to be who you want to be. You have potential to do pretty well anything you want in life. That's the first step, to understand your potential. Grab it and say, I'm going to use it. Understand that potential. Don't let it wither and die. Water it. Let it grow. See where it takes you. Sometimes it'll take you down a journey that, okay, that's not where you want to go. But you've tried it. You've allowed your potential to bloom. So maybe you'll try another way. So there's my second lesson to you. Understand your potential. Take that potential. Use it. Grow. See where it takes you. The second thing I learned, and I think this is a pretty massive lesson, because as an introvert, it was really difficult for me to get up and speak. It was difficult for me to take that deep breath and share, because basically as an introvert, I like to be by myself. I recharge by myself. And sometimes being out there in crowds of people, it can really take the energy from me, and I feel like I'm drowning. So one of the things that I really learned was to learn from my mistakes. Sometimes I pushed myself too much, and it just didn't work because I felt like I was drowning and drowning and drowning, and it just didn't work. Other times I tried something new and I thought, oh, that works. So the biggest lesson that I took out of that drowning, out of that trying things, out of that experimenting, was to learn from my mistakes. And what I say is, you look back at the challenges, what worked, what didn't work. Learn from those. Take those lessons. Use them as you move forward. Because if you don't move forward in this life, if you don't try new things and learn the lessons from those, you're going to just stagnate. You're going to be staying there in that one stagnating pool, just going round and round in circles, and you're not going to grow. Challenges, trying new things, things that may or may not work, those are what push us forward. And the lessons when we learn from those are what allow us to grow and change and become who we want to do and be. They allow us to use our potential. What often happens is we look back and something didn't work and we say, oh no, that didn't work. So I'm not going to do that again. And that is quite often what happens with introverts in speaking. They get a big deep breath, they get up, and it just doesn't work. Something happens. And so instead of looking at how can I make that work for me as an introvert? How can I help that work for me as someone who's got a fear? They just push it away and they don't do it anymore. It stops them from moving forward. So the biggest lesson out of my life as an introvert speaker that I pass on to you is look at those challenges. Look at what didn't work and bring them forward. Tweak them, try them, do something new, but always move forward. If we don't move forward, we don't grow. If we don't move forward, we don't change. If we don't change, we stagnate. There's my lesson from learning from my challenges, learning what did and didn't work. The next lesson that I took out of my life, and this isn't an easy one because we dodge. And when we're not sure about who we are, when we don't believe in who we are, when we're testing those waters, this can be an easy one that we fall into. And that is accept responsibility for your life. Every morning that you wake up, you make a choice on what you're going to do that day. You make a choice on what you're going to do in your life. Accept those responsibilities. It's not easy. Because it can be very easy to say, oh, that didn't work. Oh, well, that was because the audience was wrong. Oh, that didn't work. That was because the words were wrong. The venue was wrong. The weather was wrong. I didn't get there on time because the car broke down. You know, there's all these little things that we throw up there. When you believe in yourself and you become extremely empowered and you say, I accept responsibility for my life. I accept that I slept in and I didn't get up in time. I accept that I didn't prepare for that project. I didn't prepare properly for this. I accept responsibility for my life and the choices I make. That is very powerful. And it's one of the best lessons that I've learned. Was it an easy lesson to learn? Heck no, people. It wasn't an easy lesson because I'm human. We are all human. It takes strength, it takes moving forward, it takes waking up and saying, I am who I am responsible, and I am making my choices for my life. There's a very, really poignant quote that Sir Laurence Olivier made in a rock opera called Time, a long time ago. And in that, he says, in one of the quotes that he says, is that the only person who has absolute control over you and your attitude is you. You make that decision and choice, how you respond to things in life. If you fall back on anger, on defensiveness, on, oh, me, I can't do it, it wasn't me, those negative voices are influencing, if you let that rule your choices in your life, only you can change that. Only you can change how you respond to the challenges that come up in life, respond to the things that happen. So when you learn that and accept that you are in control of your life, you make the choices, you take responsibility, wow, that is just freedom, people. That is freedom, and allows you to grow and be the person you want to be. That was a big lesson for me as I journeyed through my life. When you add that to know your strengths, think about it. Know your strengths. It is very easy to know our weaknesses, because we're always, the first thing we do is, I can't do that. I'm not good enough at that. I can't do humor. I can't tell stories. I can't get up and speak like others do. Oh, I can't do that. We look at those weaknesses, the things we can't do. We need to look at the things that we can do, people. Every single one of us has strengths. It could be that you've got good charisma. It could be that you're a great conversationalist. It could be that you're really whiz bang at numbers, which, by the way, I'm not. And it could be that you're good at humor. It could be just that you're great at making friends. Whatever it is, you could be a marvelous cook, a stupendous service person that really makes connections with people. Find your strengths. Find those strengths and work to those strengths. Bring those strengths into everything that you do. You know, for some peculiar reason, and I really don't know why we do this as humans, that we want to change ourselves so much sometimes that we ignore the strengths we have and we try and do things that maybe are not our strengths. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't work and add more strengths and work on your weaknesses, turn them into strengths. But start with the strengths you've got and work on those first. My strengths were that and are that I am a people person. My strengths are that I'm resilient. My strengths are that I became able to believe in who I am, to take those other lessons and step up and move it. And I work on those strengths. My strength is I own who I am. Yeah, people, I have purple hair. I love purple. I'm very subtle about it, but I own it because that's who I am and that's my strength. And I use that to connect with other people and help them understand their uniqueness. So each of us has strengths, which are our uniqueness, which helps us to stand out from that person, from that person, from that person. Big lesson that I learned and that I now use to make sure that I grow and move forward. I know my strengths. Connect with like-minded people. This is awesome because when you connect with like-minded people, you have a strong support group. Do you think I could have got where I am as an introvert, as an extremely shy person, if I didn't connect with like-minded people who pushed me to get up on stage, pushed me to own who I am, who when I faltered, when I had those doubts, supported me and said, yeah, you know what, Trish, you're great at this. You did this well. Just polish that and move forward. Without that group of like-minded people to pull me up and to bring me up to my next level, and then to push me up to that next level when those people pulled me up, without those people, you can drown. It's not easy by yourself. I'm a solopreneur. I work by myself a lot from home. I work out there. And so I have to have a team of people. And those team of people are my like-minded group, my masterminded group, the people I meet in network. They can be your family. They can be your friends. But find the ones that are going to support you. because it's very easy to drop in to people. And sometimes, most importantly, it could be your friends who, or your family with the best will in the world will tell you, oh, no, don't do that. You can't do that. So find the ones that are going to support you, the ones that you can go and say, oh, hell, that didn't work today. What am I going to do? Who will say, hey, Trish, you did well yesterday. You're going to do well tomorrow. Learn from today. Find that group of like-minded people and use them. And then it's a win-win, because you are giving back to them, they are giving back to you, and you all grow and you go on to that next level. Honestly, people, I could not do what I do today. I could not have come from that Jurassic period to that shy, very introverted person to who I am today, who knows my strengths, who knows and believes in herself, who uses that like-minded people to support her, to push her to grow. Without those people. So find that group that works for you. And they change depending where you're going in your life, when your journey, depending what level you're at. That group will change, and that is okay. You move, you find. You keep your friends, you keep your family, but you find those other people that are going to push you where you want to go. And the next thing I wanted to share with you that came out of my journey was get and accept feedback. Now, I have that down low on my list, because to be able to be strong enough to get and accept and use that feedback to grow, you've got to know who you are. You've got to accept responsibility. You've got to believe in yourself. You have to know your strengths. You have to know and have that support of people who will give you that feedback. But you need that feedback to grow. You want supportive, constructive feedback. When you know your strengths, you listen to the feedback. You step back from the being personal, you take that feedback on board, and you might say, yes, I'm going to try that. And you might say, no, it's good feedback, but I am comfortable with what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to continue to do that. Continually get feedback. I do that every time I speak, every time I talk to someone in my group of people, my like-minded people. I'm always looking for feedback, because that gives me an idea of, am I doing okay? Maybe I am. Maybe I need to tweak something. Maybe something new has come in that I missed and I need to add it. So get that and accept that feedback. I've shared a lot with you in this short time together, but this is my journey as an introvert speaker, from that very, very shy introvert up to here, where I can step up with the courage. I know my potential. Step into it. I learn from my mistakes. You do too. Take responsibility for everything that you do in your life, because it's extremely powerful. Know your strengths and use them, and get that support and connection with others, and listen to feedback. And most importantly, be yourself.